Hey guys, welcome in. My name is Eric, your host and product specialist here at TOA Electronics of the podcast Sound Supply. And today we got a good one. We got my colleague in the house, Andy, who will be joining us on our discussion about a product that some of you may not know about. And we're going to dig into it real quick. I promise you guys this will be a quick one. I know last time was about 20 minutes. We'll make this one quick. So welcome in. Happy first week of February. We just got out of a snowstorm, which is pretty crazy. And we're going to be talking about the ZM-104A, which I call the TOA Wonder Gadget, and how versatile it is. And we want to just let you guys know about this product, how it can be used. And it's not just an impedance meter. It can do a lot more. And myself and Andy will get into that in just a moment. Some quick announcements real quick. Again, guys, we are recording Sound Supply every single week, and we're updating those on all of our social media pages. Be on the lookout. We have Andy today. Next week, we may have somebody else. We don't know. We're going to get this mixed up and hopefully get as much insight as we can out in the field as possible and relay the message back to you guys. That's the goal here. All right, so the ZM-104A, what is it? What does it do? And we're going to tell you guys in just a moment. I got my coffee here. All right, so we're on the second version of the unit, and maybe we can throw up an image of the unit itself. If you guys can take a look at it. We also have a couple links that we'll also post in the description, and we'll get into that in just a moment. It is an impedance meter. It's an analog piece. It is reliable in the field, and it's built like a tank. The unit is for the integrator, the installer, the guy that's out there in the field, testing for faults mainly, and that's what it's very special for. We get calls every day on speaker line issues, and the hardest thing to do is A, what is the cause of it? So finding the root cause, and B, where is that problem? All right, so let's bring in Andy. Andy, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? Good morning, man. How's everything out there?
There he is, and he was probably on camera before, but welcome in, Andy. Andy, just to give our viewers a brief overview on, give them an example of how the ZM-104A is used out in the field. Maybe reference a call that we've gotten, and how it could really save time, save space, save costs, all these great things that it can do for the integrator out there.
Well, the cool thing about the ZM-104 is that, like you said, it's got multi-functions. One of the best ones, one of the two best features I would say would be the continuity testing and the fact that you can do a load check. Where this comes into play, mostly in our realm, because we deal with 70-volt systems. These units are, as you know, you set your taps. They're transformer decoupled. So what this means is that you cannot use a regular meter. You can't use a resistance meter, because what happens is there's a slight difference between resistance and impedance. Resistance is basically just testing a resistor, not an effect. Where impedance, you need to throw a tone through it, make sure that the transformer is working, and test the actual resistance that's coming out of the driver. So where that makes a difference, where this all comes together, is that now an installer comes in and says, "Hey, I have a 240 watt amp. How many more speakers can I add to this current system?" Well, you can't test that with a multimeter, because you're testing resistance. You're going to get an odd reading. You're not going to get accuracy, which is, in this field, I always say it's very important. You need to know what you're doing so you don't end up damaging equipment, overheating things, creating a mess out of what you're going into. Plus, it makes you look professional when you know what you're doing and you're adding things and doing it the right way. So where the 104 comes in is now you test it live. So instead of having to go one by one, checking a speaker, counting how many taps you have, doing the math, you zap this on the lines, it throws a 1K tone, and it actually comes back and gives you an actual reading of how much resistance that line has. In other words, to make it simple, if you have another 20, 30 watts to spare on the amp, or if your load is at max capacity and you can't put anything on, then you have to advise the customer. You either need another amplifier, more speakers, depending what you're working with. But the simplicity of it is that you get an accurate reading without having to go up there and make your job 10 times harder by,
exactly
taking things off the roof. How many speakers did I have? You know what they tapped them at. The other good use for it is we have a continuity tester on it. So a lot of times people say, hey, I'm not getting anything from point A to point B. How can I test it? Well, test it with continuity. If you can get a tone, the wire is good. Maybe you just have a problem with the speaker. If you don't get a tone, now hey, maybe there's a short or open or a break in the line because I'm not getting a tone. You're not getting point A is never getting to point B. So it just makes troubleshooting. It makes testing. It makes verifying if you have an excessive load on an amp. I get a lot of calls also where people say, man, this amp, it's getting excessively hot. No, so what do you go through? The regular
all the time.
All the time. Is it well ventilated? Do you have it stacked on top of stuff? No, it's well ventilated. It's in a closet. Why is it overheating? So the next thing is, obviously, let's check the load. How much watts? What are you pulling from the amplifier?
Yep.
So here's where I get a lot of installers that say, well, I have a multimeter. Yeah, I got a multimeter too, but that's not going to work in this situation. We need a load tester.
Right. You need to know the correct information, for the correct fault. And the majority of our troubleshooting cases, our failure cases, go back to speaker load issues, like a short in the line, and that's what causes our amps to fail over time because of the loads and the resistance readings just dropping, and then the amp having to push out 1,000 watts versus the 120 watts that it can actually operate on.
Exactly.
And right away, that's where we direct our technicians to go to, and we ask them that question all the time: do you have an impedance meter? And a lot of the times the answer is no, which is crazy, right, Andy?
Absolutely.
I mean,
it really is, like you said, a wonder tool. It is absolutely, without a doubt, if you're working in the 70-volt industry with this kind of equipment, right, it is a must. You should not leave home without it, as they say, because it's a tool that it's your lifesaver, man. You can cut yourself hours of work and troubleshooting just by having the right equipment, and this is one of them.
Yeah. If you're in the audio field and if you're getting your hands on gear, if you're visiting sites to troubleshoot problems, an impedance meter is a must. And our ZM-104A is just it. If you guys look at it, it looks classic. It's an old school looking device. We've been making it for years. It works. It's reliable. It does the job. People love this unit. We never get. I can't even remember the last time we got a failure on this piece. It's rock solid. It's built like a tank, and it's built to be used in the field. It's built to be used on the road, and that's a really.
Actually, you know what? I do remember I had one time somebody called on it, and it was like they hadn't checked the batteries in so many years. The batteries had failed.
Batteries? All right.
They put new batteries in it. This thing was ready to rock again. It was no problem.
Yeah, I mean, a battery issue. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like most of our equipment, man. It's bulletproof. You're not gonna have a problem with it.
And we're gonna link an article. Andy did mention continuity being another use case for this guy. Believe it or not, there's a third-party article that we'll share with you guys that we've had in our archives for quite some time. I really don't even know when this was written, but it gives you a variety of examples on how to use this thing beyond what it was, designed to do, which is really, really cool. You're talking about input testing, signal generation, balance output testing, common mode rejection, loudspeaker wiring identification, transformer testing, as Andy mentioned, wire pair identification, really, really cool things that you may not be aware of that this unit can actually test for, which is very, and it goes into detail on how to actually do those, those tests. So it's very, very cool. Yeah. Some key points for you guys, just to drive this home real quick. As Andy said, I mean, it saves so much time. Not only does it reduce a phone call to us and then have us try to dig into it and try to figure it out for you, but it saves time for you guys out in the field, which means less time being out and about, which we're trying to reduce today anyways. Less time for your customers to get involved in the process. Cost saving, so everybody's you're gonna be saving on costs around the board. And then what it's meant to do is to locate the root cause of the concern or the problem. So that'll be now you'll be able to actually pinpoint what that issue is, and then quickly solve the issue as opposed to guessing. Like Andy said, a multimeter is not going to give you that exact readout that you're looking for most situations when it comes to audio load issues, because you need that AC current and that readback. But yeah, we can't, Andy, you could vouch for this. We can't stress the importance of having one of these, on the road.
No, listen, every time I've gone out to troubleshoot, the first piece of equipment I always make sure I have is my meters.
There you go.
If I don't have my meters, I'm useless. I need my meters.
It's kind of like the the phone guy with the butt set, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a mandatory tool for those guys.
You need it. There's no other way to test the line accurately. Exactly. I'll tell you, it truly is a hidden gem, man. It's one of those pieces that it's good to have, lasts forever, and it does the job, and it saves you tons of headache. You won't lose as much hair as me if you do the right thing.
So if you guys are listening out there and you have customers that do integrations as well, so they're not just reselling the product, but they're also installing and integrating, let them know and be aware of that. We offer this product. Like I said, it's been on the back front of our lineup, and we just kind of want to make you guys aware that we still sell it, number one, and it works very, very, very well. So make sure you guys are aware of that. And that's it. We wanted to make this quick and make you guys aware of this awesome little unit, the TOA Hidden Wonder. Andy, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming in.
Roger that, man. Thank you for having me on, guys.
No problem. And guys, once again, just some cleanup duty. If you guys have any questions about this meter, please email us. You can use, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, tech support at toaelectronics.com. You can give us a call at the number and dial, I think it's 2 for the extension for tech support.
Yes.
You'll get Andy, myself, Jim, or Rick, and we'll be able to answer those questions for you. Sound Supply every single week on the usual socials, LinkedIn, YouTube. What am I missing? Your Facebook. Yeah, that should do it. And we're doing a webinar at the end of every single month on Wednesdays. We're calling it Webinar Wednesdays, where we go in depth. We're doing an advanced integration series on more detailed aspects of life and security. So we're going to be focusing on those products and where we can implement those and help you guys out there in the field. And we want to make sure you're aware of those as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week. Thanks again to Andy. As always, we do this for you guys. Shoot us some questions. Let us know what you want to hear about. And take care.
Thank you very much.